Hello, my name is Clive and I'm a director at Peak Accountancy Training. We provide online courses that you can use to study towards your AAT exams at levels 2, 3 and 4. If you are interested in any of our courses, please do visit our website www.peakaccountancytraining.co.uk. Well, I've done a number of recordings to walk you through the tasks on AAT Sample or Practice Assessment 2 for Principles of Costing. Task 5 of that sample assessment is all about manufacturing accounts. Now, manufacturing accounts is a little niche area of the syllabus, so I thought I would prepare just a quick recording just to walk you through the mechanics of a manufacturing account. Now, for the exam, you do need to remember the order that items are presented in that manufacturing account, which in the end, all it is a visual representation, a report that show the costs of manufacturing and sales throughout the whole process of production and then eventual sales to the customer. So you need to remember the order that items are presented in the report. You also need to be aware of the different subtotals along the way. So I'm sharing with you a simple spreadsheet that's got some notional numbers in that show the presentation of a typical manufacturing account. Now, what we're thinking about to start with are what are the costs of production or manufacturing in the period. And I'm sure you know from your studies that those costs will include both direct production costs and indirect production costs. So if we imagine our factory, we want to know the cost of all manufacturing production that's happened in that factory for the financial period we're looking at. So what goes into production? Well, to start with, we have our direct costs, and they will be raw materials that are then converted into product by the workforce. And there may be some other types of direct expenditure along the way. So let's have a look at the spreadsheet here to calculate, to find out the actual cost of materials that have been used in production in the period. We need to think about whether this organization holds inventory of raw materials, which they're likely to do. So if we know the value of the opening raw materials, the cost value of the opening raw materials that are held in the warehouse, in stores at the start of the period, and if we know the total cost of all purchases of raw materials for the period, if we add these two items together, here £20,000 and £80,000, we can see that we had £100,000 worth of raw materials available for us to use in production. But what was all that material used by production in the period? Well, if we can value what's left in our stores, in our warehouse, in terms of raw materials at the end of the period, we can deduct that value from the opening inventory plus the purchases, and that must be the cost of the materials that have been issued to production in the period. So we take the opening inventory value, we add the total cost of all the purchases, and then we basically deduct the value of what we're left with in stores at the end of the period, and that subtotal must be the cost of raw materials that have been issued and used in the production or manufacturing process for the period. So here on my spreadsheet, that is a figure of £90,000, and that direct materials used figure is one of the subtotals that you will need to remember. So the manufacturing process, the production process, will then convert that material into product. That conversion includes the cost of direct labour. On my spreadsheet, I put in a figure for £40,000 for the cost of direct labour in the period. I've also included £10,000 of other direct expenditure related to production or the manufacturing process. Don't be surprised in an AAT exam question that that figure isn't provided. It sometimes is, it sometimes isn't. If it is, it's part of the overall direct cost. So by adding the direct material cost, 90,000, to the direct labour cost, 40,000, and the direct expenditure of 10,000, we arrive at the total direct costs of production or manufacturing of £140,000 for the period. But that isn't the whole cost of production or manufacturing, because we need to consider indirect costs or overheads associated with the manufacturing process. So I'm adding in a figure of £60,000 for illustrative purposes. So by absorbing in a share of those overheads, we have total manufacturing costs of £200,000. So this is the cost associated with all the work that has gone on in the factory in terms of production or manufacturing in the period, whether the products have been completed or not. So the manufacturing costs is another subtotal on this report that you need to be aware of. The next thing I want to know is, what are the costs of the goods that have been manufactured? In other words, the cost associated with the products that have been completed and have left the factory and gone into the warehouse ready to be sold. Now, the manufacturing process is likely to be a continual process. In other words, at the end of the reporting period, there will still be production happening in the factory. So we need to bring into our calculation at this stage the value of what we call work in progress. If you imagine in your factory at the start of the reporting period, you have partly completed products. Those products have been worked on in the previous period. And in my spreadsheet, for illustration, I've put in a figure of £20,000. The manufacturing costs on those partly complete products are £20,000 so far, and that work was done in the previous period. If I add to that 20,000 the total costs of manufacturing in this current period, £200,000, and then deduct the value associated with partly completed product at the end of this current period, I must get a figure which represents the costs of everything that has been completed. So that will include finishing off product that has been partially completed at the start of the period. It will also include product that has been started and finished in the period. So taking that manufacturing costs, the costs of all production activity in the period, adding the value of my opening inventory of work in progress, and then basically deducting the value of what's left, partially complete at the end of the period, I arrive at the costs of goods manufactured. Here, £205,000. So those products have left the factory and they've gone into my warehouse waiting to be sold. The next step is to arrive at the cost of everything that has been sold in the period. So that £205,000 worth of product has gone into my warehouse, where it's joined up with what's there already at the start of the period. £50,000 worth of finished goods. So in total, I have £250,000 worth of goods available to be sold. At the end of the period, I will value the goods that are left in that finished goods warehouse. Here, I've shown that figure to be 40,000. So by deducting that £40,000, I must have arrived at the cost of everything that's been sold, £215,000. That cost of sales figure can be deducted from the revenue generated from those sales to arrive at my profits. So let's just briefly go back and summarize the process in putting together this manufacturing account. We want to arrive first at the cost of direct materials used by production. Take the opening inventory of raw material, add all the purchases of raw material in the period, and deduct the value of what we're left with in terms of raw material at the end of the period. That gives us the cost of direct materials issued and used by production. Add what we call the conversion costs, direct labor cost, and direct expenditure, and we get the total direct costs of production or manufacturing, same thing, for the period. Add to that the manufacturing overhead costs, and we have the total costs of manufacturing for the entire period. The next thing we want to work out is the cost of everything that's been finished and has basically left the factory floor and gone into the warehouse waiting to be sold. To do that, we take the manufacturing costs, add the value of the opening inventory of work in progress, and deduct the closing inventory value of work in progress. That gives us the cost of all goods manufactured. The next stage is to work out the cost of what we've sold. So we take that cost of goods manufactured, we add to it the value of our opening inventory of finished goods, before finally deducting the value of the closing inventory of finished goods to arrive at the cost of sales, which can be used to calculate our profits.